You probably have an ocean view here, huh? A little bit over there. Yeah, ocean view. Very nice. Very nice. So we're going to be replacing, well, actually, they've already started replacing the lights, but I'm coming in to kind of finish it up. So that's what I'm going to be working on. Okay, so here's what we got. Some light fixtures. And already been kind of pre-assembled. There's a few cables laying here that I'm going to have to try to deal with. And we'll reuse these wire nuts. We can probably use those. This is going to be an outdoor light with a photocell that's built into it. Hello. This is going to be a short video on how to install a couple light fixtures. When I got the call to go help my friend, he just had a problem with trying to figure out why the lights weren't working. And I think he probably would have just finished off installing the fixtures himself if I had just explained to him what the problem was. But I wasn't sure kind of what was happening, and I noticed that some of the light fixtures were a little loose, and he still had one that wasn't put in yet. So I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and just double check them to make sure, that it's done correctly. And, as minor stuff, the grounding's kind of important for light fixtures because you could have a short on that and not know it, and it could cause a fire, or somebody could get electrocuted. Probably pretty rare in a situation where it's a light fixture on a wall, but it's possible. So you want to make sure that everything's grounded correctly. But I think probably what the problem was is that these light fixtures have a photocell on them, and it's going to turn off during the day. And you could tape them. You tape over the photocell with some electrical tape, like you use black tape, and sometimes that'll work, but often for some reason it still senses the light through the photocell, and the light fixture won't come on, and you'll think, oh my God, what's the problem? So like for my friend, he spent hours trying to figure out, what his issue was, but in reality it was nothing, there wasn't a problem. It just had to coordinate turning on the light switch from inside with the nighttime operation. So during the day, if you turn the light switch on, it won't have a light, but at night, if you turn the light switch on, you will get a light. So I think that was a little confusing, not understanding how the photocell part works. And so it was not really anything serious. It was a problem. So once we got it all put back together, and I didn't even get the lights to come on, I said, hey, wait until tonight and then turn them on and let me know. You could call me and say the lights are working. And of course, I got the call and the lights were working. But for right now, I'm just going to go over just how you would install one of these light fixtures. And now this was on a mobile home in my park that I live in. And it would be the same kind of installation for a house. What they did with the mobile home was they probably added these lights. They brought the mobile home out, and then whoever did the setup on the mobile home probably did some extra work on it, and then added the lights in the field. Because it's some of the holes were busted out where the siding. So the siding on this mobile home was cement board. So it had a cement board siding, kind of probably like a hardy plank or something. And when they cut the hole out, they busted the siding out. And so it wasn't really like noticeable probably when the light fixture was up, but as soon as you took the light fixture down, you could see the cracks around the box. So I had him get me some sealant that he had, and we just used it was kitchen sealant for like plumbers type stuff around the sink or whatever. And for this installation, it didn't really matter. It was more important to get the waterproofing than it was to be worried about the aesthetics of it, because it's behind this cover plate. So that wasn't going to be an issue. And that was just one of the extra things that I did while I was there. And so had I have arrived probably on a start, like if they called me up and said, hey, can you come put these 3 lights in? I think it probably would have took me about an hour, maybe an hour and a half total to do the whole thing. But because I didn't have all the parts, there were a lot of parts were missing. I had to improvise a lot of stuff and ended up coming back going home, making a trip back and looking for stuff, and it was a little frustrating. So I was a little frustrated that we didn't have all the parts there, and nobody really knows what happened to the parts. These are supposedly new fixtures in the boxes, and somehow or another all the parts are missing. So I don't know how that takes place, but we did have that incident, and anyways, it made it a little bit harder. It was just going to be a repair, so not a big deal. And I wasn't being paid for this. It was just my own time. This is a friend, and I just wanted to help out. So just something that I could do that I know how to do is install light fixtures. I've probably put in thousands of these things. Anyways, this is going to be a little bit on the installation, and I'm just going to go over the installation manual. See, now I have the manual here, so we knew what the part number was, so I could look up on the Home Depot website and find the manual. And you know, if you're going to do this yourself, they have a thing here for if you got questions, problems, missing parts. There is somebody to call. So, like for my friend, he had broken a couple of the lights that are on the side. They're kind of a curve-shaped glass that's been specially cut, and so he needs to replace that. And rather than go and buy a whole brand new fixture, he could just call this Home Depot number from the Hampton manufacturer, and they'll send him the parts. So that would be one way to get the extra parts that he needs. I don't know if he did that or not. I was going to look into it for him. And I went on the Home Depot website and never got a response. So I guess the next thing to do would be to call and say I need 3 of those pieces of glass. But anyway, so then our next thing is they give you a little caution, so things to think about before you start working on an electrical system. So probably one of the most important things is to make sure that you turn the power off, because you know, you could turn it off with the light switch, but it could come on. Somebody could accidentally turn it back on you, and if you're not prepared for that, or you're not used to being shocked, then it could be an event in your life that you didn't really want to have. And so, so that was the number 1 item on the caution. It says to consult a qualified electrician if you have any questions. You know, so if it's something you're not comfortable with, I mean, this isn't a real hard job to do. It'd be easy to hire somebody to probably come and do it, like a handyman or something like that. Just anyone with some experience with handling electrical equipment and installing electrical devices. And probably the most important thing here is the grounding is a major issue, and then also your connections. So when you splice the light fixture cables in, using these little wire nuts, and you want to make sure that those connections are made snugly so they're not popping off or anything. So when you do the wire nut on the, take the 2 wires together and run that wire nut down, a couple extra twists usually will do it, and you'll see the cable will twist together as you're tightening it up. And the way the wire nut's designed is it has a tapered spring tension, like a nut, you know, a wire nut, and it's inside of that plastic holder. And as you're tightening it down, the wire's getting tighter into that spring, so it kind of draws it in, and it'll hold it there tight. And then as the light fixture operates, there'll be heat and contraction in the cables. So when you're running it, it's going to get a little hotter. It's going to expand a little, and then it'll contract. Well, that the wire nut is designed to manage that expansion and contraction. Otherwise, you'd need like a terminal block. And so in the parts list thing, they'll tell you what's in it. So these were some of the things that we had. Now, it's missing, like the lock nuts were missing. And we had everything else. The glass was the only other thing that was not in the package. Then here's the assembly. So they show you how to put it all together. And this particular light fixture, it isn't really difficult to assemble, but I mean, you got to get the nipple in at the right height, and there's lock washers that have to go in, so you got a lock washer in. This thing is called a final on the top that holds it all together. So if this nipple isn't set in the right place, it's going to stick out here at the top, and then this cover will be loose, and you don't want that. And then as far as the assembly is dropping down, I don't know if you notice in this picture, this will all go down. This will be the top here at this area. But yeah, pretty simple. So one of the easiest things to probably do around the house is change a light fixture. I mean, the only difficult thing is you got to get on a ladder and hold it, so you're holding it there. And what I like to do is I'll take the ground wire often and wrap it around a screw that'll hold the fixture in place while I'm wiring everything. And that's sometimes how I'll do it, or get the hot and the neutral lead, the black and the white, and hold those, and then allow the fixture to dangle from that while I tighten up the wires. That's another way. Or if you have a taller ladder, you like to put a 6-foot ladder and you can set your fixture on top of that ladder. Sometimes that'll help. So there's different ways to manage the light fixture, but holding it one hand and trying to hook the wire nuts, that's not going to happen. It's better to maybe have 2 people or something in that case. And then here's some more of the parts. So like we were missing the ground screws, and these, I didn't see all these cross plates. So I don't know where those went. They disappeared. And then of course the outlet boxes, somebody had taken oddly shaped screws or something and put those in and blew out the screw holes. So the outlet boxes are made of plastic. So if you don't use the correct screw for the outlet box, then you're going to have to use whatever construction screw somebody stuck in there. And I think it was probably a carpenter's screw, something that somebody had in their toolbox. They didn't have the right screws. These are the 832s for a light fixture. So, and there's actually a code on that. You have to use a certain size screw to mount your light fixtures. It's the same with a device, a plug or a light switch. You got 632 screws on those. Okay, and then we move on. So this gives you the installation. Now it's showing you putting in a box, but in most cases you already have the outlet box there. If you don't, then the wiring and everything else is going to be a little bit more difficult. That's where you need more expertise probably to mount a box, and because it's got to be secure in the wall. So you kind of have to have a little experience with that. And you're fishing a cable somewhere, maybe you're coming up out of a light switch, putting your cable in, or you might be installing a new light switch that's tied into an outlet down below, and then you're coming up to this outlet on the outside. And all that's really close, but when you get on the exterior, you're going to start hitting blocking. There's insulation everywhere on the outside. It's not easy fishing wires up and down inside of the wall, so keep that in mind if you're going to tackle this this job here. And then they do give you some troubleshooting, so you could look at that if you're having some problems with it. If it's daylight, cover the photocell with hand or electrical tape. Now, I haven't had much success using my hand because depending on where the sun's at, it could just like shine through your hand. It'll still see it. So yeah, the electrical tape, double layer maybe might help. Anyway, so that's kind of it for the installation. Like I said, it's a pretty easy job. I've been doing it for a long time, since I was in high school, so I know how to install light fixtures. I've done all types of them. And so for a home, it's probably one of the easiest projects that you could tackle. Maybe next to changing a light switch or putting in an outlet. These are just really simple projects you can do on your own. And of course, this is our mobile home park, so this is a mobile home, and there's really not a whole lot of difference between doing this in a mobile home or a regular home, or anything with an electrical outlet and power. This is the rest of the video. I hope you enjoy it, and if you did, like I always say, we need you to hit the like button, and then if you didn't like it, there's a little farther over here is the subscribe button. If you would subscribe, and when you subscribe, if you hadn't liked the last video, you might like the next one. So please do that, and it helps us out quite a great deal. with a channel and everything like that. You can see one I've already put up. We're going to check this one, make sure the wiring is correct. Yeah. That's that. And we'll be working on this one too. This is, so we cut that outlet box in, kind of left a few holes around it. Might get some caulking out and caulk that. Because I really want to seal this. They don't have water leaks. Because it leaks behind the light fixture. If you get a little bit of rain that hits this wall like this, it's going to want to drip down onto the surface of this wood. And these areas here could get water in them. So I probably want to caulk that. So this box is busted out here and here, where it's got a hole so water can leak in there. So I'm going to fill that. A little caulk. And he's got quick seal kitchen caulk. So it's an adhesive caulk. Kitchen and bath and plumbing, so it'll probably work for this. I don't see it. A good idea to put some up here. Sure we don't have too many leaks around that. I'd do it over here too, but it's gonna show. I'm not gonna do that. I want to go all the way around this box. What we're concerned about here is that the water is running down in behind the box. Hopefully it'll run off. And then it'll Okay, so this light's already installed, so all I want to do here is just check it, make sure that it's fired correctly. Hey, look for some of those extra parts that we're missing. helps to have a packet of screws. This is like a little screw kit with 832 Phillips heads. And you got all different sizes. And most people probably don't need that kind of stuff, but it's handy to have around if you are putting up light fixtures or something. Screw kit. They make them for plugs too. Those will be 632s. Not good.
Tied into this one?
Oh, I took it down and I'm putting it back together, but the screw, they blew out the screws in the box. Somebody put in the wrong size screws or something in here, and now there's no threads. So this strips out. You only had one screw holding it, holding the bracket on.
Really?
And there was no ground wire connected, so I went home and got
I'm glad you did.
some screws. Well, you know, I mean, it's the kind of thing. This one probably could have just went. I mean, it wouldn't have been a big deal. But
Did you get some?
now that I know about it, I can't just say, "Oh, yeah, I'm just gonna not say anything." I just take care of it. This brings this video to an end. We talked about the installation of the light fixtures on a mobile home, and how You can replace the existing lights with some new ones from the Home Depot. We went over the different parts, the components of the light fixture that you need to assemble it. And I demonstrated a couple installations, did some caulking on around the junction box to ensure that we didn't get any water inside of there. And then also just covered some of the items that my friend was experiencing with his light fixtures, why they may not have worked, and how we remedied that, and everything worked out really fine. So, if you liked it, the like buttons. You got the like buttons, and if you liked it, like it. And if you didn't like it, well, then consider hitting that subscribe button over there, because when you subscribe, you'll get a notice when the next video comes out. Maybe you'll like that one. And also, leave us your comments, because Kathy and I enjoy reading those, and we'll welcome any comment and get back to you as soon as we can. So anyways, this is going to be Ron signing out. Bye.